Everyone knows that the 1995 Power Rangers movie has been the most iconic of this franchise and possibly also the most famous. This movie was so impactful that after so many years we are still talking about this project, and it is for this reason that I want to show you some behind-the-scenes photos. Because this movie was created in 1995, all these pictures are of a very low quality, so let's concentrate on the most interesting things. Let's start with this picture of Billy wearing the famous suit from this movie, but this picture was taken in front of Zordon's tube. Because Zordon's face is put into the scene using computer effects, we don't know if at least the crystal existed. If we analyze this photo, perhaps it is very possible that Zordon's crystal was also created digitally and what is behind Billy is the only thing that was on location for Zordon's scenes. One thing I really liked about this movie is that the command center was completely real and not digitally created. In the next picture we can see the red, black and yellow Rangers. Coincidentally they are the same newest Rangers in that team at the time. We assume that in this part they are trying to film the street scenes when they were about to start the battle with the Zords. It could also be the scene of the first battle with the purple soldiers, but that's not what's important. Let's analyze other interesting details. In this photo the Red Ranger is not using the morpher that goes on the belt, and maybe it is because they are still finishing preparing the actors. Apparently, Billy liked to pose for photos since we managed to find this photo, and this could have been anywhere away from the filming. In this photo we can notice all the details that had that spectacular suit, and we can see that the material is very different. I think this photo has been one of the most famous, and if you haven't seen it yet, then let's analyze it a little bit. We can notice that the Ranger helmets do not have the visor and the mouth part, but this could have had a purpose. The production team had created different helmets for each Ranger, and these are a version of all those helmets they made. Although we are not entirely sure of the purpose of these helmets, we can surmise that removing the visor was so that the actors could see better since the scene was being filmed at night. The mouth thing may have been removed so that the actors' voices could be heard better, although this is a bit of an odd theory since actors always record their voices in a sound studio. This Power Rangers movie begins when the Rangers jump out of a plane, and although many scenes were filmed by professional skydivers, there are other scenes that had to be filmed by the actors. At some moments the camera is close to each actor, specifically in the dialogue moments, and you can tell that it was filmed using green screen. In this picture we can see the way they filmed these scenes and everything they had to use to get the actors to be flying. The Lord Zed of this movie is physically very different from the Lord Zed of the TV series, and here we can notice that the actor who used the suit was quite tall. Although I like this suit a lot, what I don't like is that, if we take a good look at his face, Lord Zed looks like he is smiling. In the next picture we can see Tommy and Kimberly filming the scenes when they go to the other planet to look for the new power. Obviously, they are not on another planet, but the producer said they tried to find a place that looks so different that it looks like another planet. What that man is holding is a microphone, and they use that gray cover so that the sound of the wind is not recorded, only the actor's voice will be recorded with the sounds of the environment. As we said before, Billy apparently liked to take pictures of himself, although here he doesn't seem to be very happy. I think this photo doesn't need much explanation, but we can notice that he is also filming his parachute scene. This is the photo I had mentioned earlier of all the suits they had to make for this movie. We can notice all the different helmets they created for each Ranger and also all the accessories. Even though some of these suits have been sold, with this photo we can know that there must still be some suits left somewhere. Most probably the actors might have one of these suits, and we can know this because the actor who plays Adam recently published a photo using the suit from this movie. In this photo we can see Kimberly, although she is not really the original actress since this woman in the photo is the one in charge of filming the dangerous scenes of this character. Even though she is a professional, she has to use those wires to hold herself, and maybe this is because the scene was very dangerous. This photo is quite simple since at that moment the actor who plays Rocky was talking about the movie, but the interesting thing about this moment is that in the background we can see the throne of the villains. One of the places I really liked in this movie was the villain's castle, as it looked really scary. Now we can see another angle of Tommy and Kimberly's scene on the other planet, and here we can see everything they need to film that moment. On one side we can see the camera, and in front of the actors we can see a man carrying a white square. That square is a light bouncer, and because the sunlight is coming from behind the actors, they have to bounce that light so that it can illuminate the actors. This way they don't have to use lights to illuminate the actors, and they use the same sunlight to achieve the scene. In this photo we can see that they are filming one of the purple monsters, and we can see the great makeup work despite the low quality of the photo. This is another scene of Kimberly and Tommy, but it is a different moment as the sunlight is now softer. In this photo we can see the camera, but we can also see that there is a mattress in front of the actors. This could have been there for several reasons, but most likely it is to protect the actors from falling, as these are real stones. In this photo the Rangers are in battle against the giant monsters, but because they are obviously digital creations, they are not going to be seen here. We can see that in the background the city is destroyed, and this is what gives better emotion to the scene. This is a very interesting photo, and it is the moment when the villains are in the excavation to look for the giant monsters. It is quite shocking to see how colorful the suits of these monsters are, and maybe this made them look better with the dark lighting that the movie had in some scenes. The makeup job that the main villain had is impressive, and now let's see a picture of how they did that makeup. The actor of the main villain had to spend many hours in the makeup area, as this transformation was quite complicated, but the result was spectacular. We can see that the jaw part was a separate object, and then they had to put it together. It is said that the actor had to drink grape juice in order to have a purple tongue, so we guess he must still hate grape juice after drinking it so many times during the filming. This is one of the most curious pictures of this movie, and this was the first actress to play Dulcia. For some reason, which I will tell you in another video about secrets of this movie, the producers changed the actress and also eliminated that character that looks like an elephant. Another interesting detail is that the Rangers don't have the logo in the center of the chest. We don't know if they made this change later, or maybe it was just covered. Write in the comments if you managed to see any other interesting detail in some of these photos, like this video, and subscribe for more Power Rangers photos.